Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. I'm your host, James Winter Smith, and I decided today, since it's been a few days since I've drawn him, I would draw another Cerebus for the contest. As you may remember from the rules, if you just like and comment that you liked a video this month, any video goes, then I will select a name from the hat. And if you're one of the people that have basically put their name in there, then you might win all the Cerebus art for the month. It's pretty self-explanatory. Alright, this is actually my third time filming this because I had some camera issues. I was shaking the table a little too much. There might be some shaking. Here, I'll move my tablet over, which is actually touching the wire. You might have some issues, but you won't have anything as bad as it was. It was pretty bad, to be honest. I always wonder if the audience sees what I'm seeing. By that I mean, can you already see a Cerebus in this? I think it's pretty obvious, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I have to go a little further. Sometimes I'll draw something like an arm or a leg or something, like on a piece of paper, and nobody will know what I'm going for, but it'll be very obvious to me. Bit of shading there. That's the tail, if anyone can't tell. It is kind of a little abstract. I'm going with brown hues on this one. It seems to be fairly unpopular right now to use any shades of brown on a comic because people expect the colors to really pop when it comes to comic books. However, Catherine Jeffrey Jones, she had actually said in a book I read that the less colors you use, the more that your other colors are going to pop. And I subscribe to that. I think I found through testing that theory that it seems very true. So I figure I start with these browns, and anything that I put near them or anything that I put on the paper is going to pop next to them. And that might be nothing, or that could be something huge. Now I'm working on the vest a bit. I think he's got a bit of a gut there. Must be all those stabbing traps and alls. Alright, this is willow. Let's go with the ground. We want some hills here. Go with the side of the pencil. Okay, I think we're done with browns for now. Let's look for something to accent that. But we don't want to go too crazy. So let's go with a yellowish color here. This is golden yellow. As always, as usual, I'm using Derwent Inktense water pencils. I find they work a lot better than the actual watercolor pencils that Derwent puts out. So as long as they say Inktense, they get my endurance, my endorsement. Well, they get my endurance too, but that's another story. Is that coming across pretty good? We're kind of creating a light source in a way by putting the gold on one side. Hit the toes. Okay, I don't know what else to put. Let me see what I've got. I don't want greens. Maybe some orange to accentuate over here. I'm hoping the popping part will come when I add the water. A shout out to my friend Josiah, who had gifted me some Derwent ink brushes, or rather water brushes. They really come in handy. I really like the results on them. It came with three sizes, three sizes of pen. One was a flat brush, and then there was a small brush and a large brush. And all three of them have worked out pretty well. So thanks again. I appreciate that. He also sent me like a 72 pack, I think it was, of the Derwent water, the Derwent Inktense pencils, and obviously they came in handy. Okay, now I'm going to add a lighter shade of red to the background here. Looks pretty brownish red to me, but the colors haven't come alive yet. I've done literally hundreds of drawings in this technique, so I know what to expect pretty much. Let's go for something a little brighter, a brighter red. That noise you hear is me going through my pencils. I don't really see anything I like in that drawer. Let me try this one. Okay, here's one called Cherry. Alright, that seems a lot more, a lot redder than the color under it. So we'll put these here so it blends together. Alright, and there are some highlights on the other side of the sword to reflect that redness. Then I'm going to fade out from there. And we're pretty much done with that, with just applying the colors. Now let's use a brush. Alright, I have the flat brush here. First, I put it to the side and get all of the extra water off. As you can see with the flat brush, I can add little squares here. Give the illusion of depth of some sort, you know? Alright, now while that side's drying a bit, just go over here, hit more red. Then back over again. Eventually, you want to get all of these areas that you laid the pencil down, but you want to go back and forth so not everything dries at the same way. The darks are dark and the lights are light that way. Alright, we're wiping off again. Then we go to another color that's more similar to the red. In this case, it's this color brown. Not as much as where I put the gold and yellow at. We want to save that for a little further along in the brush. I wipe off the brush again. I like the way the vest is looking. It looks kind of tattered and a little rough. All right. Then we go with the eyes, which are going to be orange all the way across. And since we're already touching the orange, we'll just go to the sword. Give it a little tail. How has everybody done their homework this week? The assignment is to draw Cerebus in about 15 minutes. You don't want to eat into your actual drawing time, especially as a pro. And I wouldn't expect that any pro would actually do anything. Special thanks to Mark Wheatley, who remembered he did a Cerebus commission for a fan on a Kickstarter or some sort of paid venue like that. So he actually shared that with the group, that's fine. You know, that's the equivalent of actually doing the homework. If you've already got it, then great. Go ahead and show it. Let me move this up a bit so you can see the legs as I'm doing this. Okay, hit the red again. Now I'm doing it a lot looser, a lot less dabbing. I think I'm going to go over that with a darker shade of red. It's never too late to change your mind on things. However, I can't seem to find the red in the drawer it belongs in, but I see a red sitting out on the side gutters. So let's try it again. I'm going to put the brush down for a second. Okay, it feels somewhat dry. There we go. All right, back to the brush. Okay. Last step is the inking step. So I'm going to pause for a couple minutes and let the water dry, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, it's been about 3 or 4 minutes. Everything should be pretty dry on here. It feels fairly good. All right, now I'm using a 03 micron now for the actual inking. I do find that that is where I naturally lie. I mean, I love a nice thin line. I like to use a nice sharp pen. But this seems to come naturally to me. Notice I'm putting the line right against the edge and going in an upward manner. That's just how I do it. Your hand might curve differently, and you might want to work towards yourself. Feel free to adapt to yourself and your own needs. There's no wrong way to draw a nice picture. See, now I'm drawing the lines towards myself. Just do anything, make it work for you. Alright, it's coming along pretty well. Sorry once again, I get into the zone and I kind of stop talking. I'm more focused on making the best piece of art I can possibly make. That hand's a little high up. You'll notice the sword hilt is actually here. We'll just white that out and go from here. Get the eyes. Now we made that orange pretty dark, so you want to make sure that we can see the pupils. And the hair. I guess this is before reads because he has both ears. Gotta get those nostrils the same way as the pupils. You want them nice and dark to stand out amongst all of the colors, which is only really 2 or 3 colors really, but sometimes less is more. There's the hilt of the sword. Now the vest is different than the rest of his body, so you kind of want to make it one straightish line. Maybe I'm just superstitious like that, but to me it makes a difference. All right, we're almost done with the first bunch of ink on here, but I think I'm going to go over this with a thicker line then. Okay, well that's what we have so far. Oop, I dropped the drawing. Hold on a sec. All right, I went with a multi-liner, if you can see that there. It's a size 0.7. It's fairly big, but it seems to be flowing a lot better. It's giving me the desired effect. I think that 3's days are numbered at this point. I've had the microns for years, so I'm not really surprised. I used to get the lines I wanted out of it, now not so much. Sometimes it's the tools themselves and not the sizes. Oh, I forgot to ink the medallions. I just noticed that. All right, and add some more highlight lines here. Now the background. Making that a little rougher and a little thicker at the same time. Making it stand out from the earth pig. So we add some abstract little lines here. Okay, now we're almost done. Let me just add the white highlights and corrections and we'll be back. Okay, let's go right to the part where we messed up. This is, I think, kind of dry. Yeah. And no luck. Well, let's see what else we have. Okay, change of plans. It seems like all of my white pens are in need of repair. I can't actually use that technique. I would usually use nail polish and usually makes the tips flow. But once again, with only one hand, I'm kind of limited. So it is what it is. So basically this is pretty much done. I'll just add a signature to it. All right. And I promise whoever gets this piece, I do have like white ink in a jar downstairs. I promise I'll at least cover this up if I don't add the details to it. Well, there you have it. We have a questionable Cerebus here with some sort of flaming wild sword. All right. We will see you next time. Like, rate, subscribe, and yada, yada, yada. And we'll see you next time on Outstanding Achievement.